again, every single time I wear this Will Ospreay hat, it's 50-50. You know, he won his first match, but he didn't win his second one. So, you know, I'll still wear this to the shows up here. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daniel Strunk from QuickTime Reactions, filming my third video of the day. I just got out of seeing AEW World's End, AEW's final show of the year, and I think my last video for this year. So before I get into the review, I want to thank you guys for, giving me an amazing kind of half year of doing this so far. I mean, I've looked at my channel analytics and I've gotten over 200 views, and I sincerely thought that I would not get over 100 to start with. Like, I thought I was just gonna post things into the ether, but I just want to say thank you guys for those that have stopped by and given me an opportunity, or just saw something that you liked, or whatever, and just thought, give me a chance. And I hope that 2025, I got some big ideas for 2025, so look forward to that. But yeah, for sure, thank you guys for an amazing later half of 2024. But enough of me yapping. Let's get on to AEW World's End. Now, I did not technically watch the show. They did not have it playing in the restaurant that I was at, but I did listen to Cultaholic's live stream. By the way, subscribe to Cultaholic. They're awesome. And I was able to catch bits and pieces, and I did look up on Wikipedia the results for the show. So, on the pre-show, or the 0 hour, Toni Storm, freshly come back. She beat Lila Gray in a quick match. And in a backstage segment, Toni and Deonna Purrazzo set up a match for the first Collision that will be simulcast on TNT and Max. So, looking forward to that. There was an 8-man tag of Lio Rush, Action Andretti, and Brian Cage and Lance Archer taking on the Outrunners and Top Flight. And the bad guys won, and then Private Party came out for a stare down with Andretti and Rush, who I believe are the number one contenders for the tag titles. Oh, and there was also a match on the pre-show, Jeff Jarrett versus QT Marshall, which Jarrett won. So, getting into the main show, which, by the way, they should have renamed for tonight, not World's End, Bloody End, because my God, did I hear there was a lot of blood spilled, especially in this first match, Ospreay versus Fletcher, a rematch from the previous pay-per-view, but also the semifinals for a semifinal match for the Continental Classic. And these guys, from what I heard, had an absolute banger. Will got busted open pretty bad. Fletcher had a pretty good showing, but in the end, Ospreay was able to win and get his way into the finals. Which then leads perfectly on to the next match, Okada versus Ricochet, for the other semifinal match in the Continental Classic. Again, I think probably a really good, solid match from what I heard. Ricochet getting booed ostensibly. But in the end, Okada was able to win. And I had predicted that the finals were going to be either Ospreay Ricochet or Ospreay Okada. One of those two matches, because those are both dream matches for us wrestling fans. I mean, Ospreay Ricochet we've had many times, but Ospreay Okada we haven't had a lot of. So I figured that was going to be the one that they had close the C2 this year. And I think also after the match, Swerve Strickland came out to kind of cheer Ricochet up, but ended up making him even more mad. Mariah May defended her women's title against Thunder Rosa in a street fight. And again, I heard that it was very bloody. Thunder Rosa taking bumps onto thumbtacks and just getting all sorts of blood everywhere. But in the end, Mariah May was able to pick up the win. Adam Cole versus MJF for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Cole had the help of the Kingdom, but it was not enough to deter MJF and his Happy Gilmore check-having butt. In the first place, he won in the end to retain his Dynamite Diamond Ring. So, will Max ever lose that Dynamite Diamond Ring? I don't know. We're going to have to wait until next year to see. But in the end, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong both came out to try and fend off MJF. And it seems as though Cole, Roddy, and Kyle may be on the same page. Maybe. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Takeshita for the international title. Again, from what I heard, it was a really solid match. In the end, Takeshita ended up retaining. So pretty solid match, I assume, anyway. Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander for the TBS title. Again, I heard that it was a really solid match. Crowd got into it by the end, from what I heard. But in the end, of course, Mercedes Moné won the match. Which then leads us into the Continental Classic final, Ospreay Okada. And I'm just going to make an easy assumption and say, based off of what they did in New Japan, I'm going to assume that this was an absolute barn burner of a match. But in the end, Okada was able to retain his Continental Championship by beating Ospreay. But it was not enough, because after the match, we saw the return of one Kenny Omega. Of course, Kenny is going to be wrestling at Wrestle Dynasty in just a few days. I think he's going to be wrestling Gabe Kidd at Wrestle Dynasty. So, looking forward to seeing the results of not only Wrestle Kingdom, but also Wrestle Dynasty as well. So, that'll be a fun thing to look up as well. And then, of course, we get to the main event. Moxley, White, Page, and Orange Cassidy for the AEW World's title. Obviously, the target was majorly on Moxley's back, but everybody was taking each other out, finisher, and then Moxley just wins outright. And I looked at my time and was like, we still have a little bit of time left. And of course, who comes out but FTR and a returning Adam Copeland. And they clear house. They clear out the rest of the Death Riders. And it seems as though we're probably going to get Copeland and Moxley for the world title next, which I am not opposed to. I think that'll be a really good series of matches, either, with FTR or, surrounding other parties. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped up for Copeland Moxley. And this year's World's End was probably leagues better than last year's World's End, where we had the conclusion to the Devil storyline, with that being revealed as Adam Cole. Not a lot of people taking that on quite well. So yeah, World's End this year, a major improvement over World's End from last year. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I may do a top 10 movies for the year 2024, but other than that, I think this will be my last video for 2024. I thank you guys for either A, taking a chance on me, or B, not showing up in the first place and just noticing my stuff and being like, maybe another day. But I appreciate your time. I appreciate everyone tuning in, and I will see you guys in the new year. Take care.